Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Johnny, the Super Gamer Brothers, and welcome back to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2006 Let's Play. Okay, since Wave Ocean went absolutely fucking nowhere, we're back on Soliana's hub world, because at no point or any time in the game does Tails ever whip out the tornado to chase after the goddamn thing, but, you know, nothing we can do about it now, we're already back here. So with that said, it's time for a side mission. This is our very first side mission of the game. This is completely optional. You don't have to do this. And with that said, you're just destroying, more of Eggman's robots. There's a lot of side missions like this where you're just beating the shit out of robots, or going through hoops or collecting rings. It's simple stuff because they really just want you to get more rings for the shop. That's exactly the point of side mission, just to get rings when you complete the mission. The higher your rank is when you complete the side mission, the more rings you get for the shop. So needless to say, you always want to go for the S rank, which is already easy enough to begin with, considering the simplicity of them all. But if you want to pretty much get everything in the shop on your first run through, you want to head for the S rank. So we destroyed all the Batniks pretty easily. This was actually one of the cool things about when you defeat a certain enemy in a ringleader, if you destroy the enemy leader of a group formation of enemies, all the enemies will die, which will give you a big point bonus, which is, just makes getting an S rank easier. But anyway, we're done the side mission right now, but now we have a conundrum. This little girl has somehow gotten stuck on the rooftop. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, this little girl has gotten stuck on the rooftop. We have no idea how the hell she got here, but we need to rescue her. But in order to do so, we need to slide under this gap that Sonic cannot get to on his own, because for some reason Sonic forgot how to roll into a ball. So while Tails admires that stone wall, which I will admit is much better than the entire game in itself, we need to get an upgrade in order to get under that gap. And ladies and gentlemen, that is this game's version of the spin dash, which is really pointless. I mean, you remember it back in Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, where you press the button and you perform the spin dash on the fly, and you can get a lot of distance with it, especially when using it on an incline and such. And that's no longer the case here anymore, because now you cannot perform the spin dash on the fly. You have to stand perfectly still. And even then, when you're in spin dash mode, you can't jump. The only way you can get out of spin dash mode is by canceling it out with the X button. And using the spin dash is faster than running, but if it only lasts a few seconds and you can't perform it on the fly, then what is the point? I don't know. But anyway, the move that we got from the shop is the anti-gravity, which is a slide kick that defies gravity. So I guess the name makes kind of sense. But anyway, we can use it now or we can just clip through the stone wall, like I just did right there. But anyway, okay, well, it looks like this is how the girl got up there. She must have hit the spring, launched herself up, and landed face first in the concrete, and now she's crying as a result of said pain. Which actually, I have to admit, that's a pretty interesting concept. I mean, considering the springs, how they work in the Adventure series and all the 3D games, does it hurt when Sonic gets launched by a spring? I mean, in the classic series, most springs are activated by jumping on them with your feet. So I figured there wouldn't be too much damage there. But in this game, where in 3D games where Sonic's being launched left and right with springs to the face, does it hurt?
You're a good girl, Elise. Remember, be brave. Don't cry, no matter what happens.
Oh yeah!
Mr. Sonic!
Just call me Sonic. Now then, are you okay?
I'm so glad that you came.
I always keep my word.
I always come when I need to.
It looks like a pesky rat has stuck its nose where it doesn't belong. Well, a hedgehog to be more precise. The princess is mine. Until I unlock the secret of the flames of disaster.
Yeah.
Tails!
Got it! Let's go!
I'll take care of you now. An early breakfast for my pet.
Okay, so we're on the verge of rescuing Princess Elise from Dr. Eggman again, but before that we have to conquer the very first boss of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Egg Cerberus, which only has one head, so the name is... It's kind of misleading, to be perfectly honest. But anyway, what you have to do here is it's actually a pretty simple boss fight, a bit drawn out to be honest, but you have to wait until the egg Cerberus stops dashing like an idiot and gets tired. Yes, the machine gets tired. When it's out of breath, you have to, you know, circle it around the back, homing attack the tail, and grab onto its lightsaber antenna. At that point, you can control the egg Cerberus, and you have to make it crash into a wall. It takes about 4 hits to kill, but if you manage to lead the egg Cerberus into one of these statues, you can do double the damage. That's never explained, and I'm not about to question anything to make the boss battle go faster. You know, is a-okay by me. But, you know, when you take more than when you do more than half of the damage, you can reveal the egg Cerberus's faceplate. And what? Whoa! Okay, I don't know how I did that, ladies and gentlemen. That is the homing attack fucking up on me, and now I'm on the second level of the arena, which you're not supposed to be able to get up to here. In fact, if you paid close attention to Sonic there, I was actually floating above the ruins because I'm guessing the hitbox is larger than the actual model itself, and that's just wonderful. That's just great. Anyway, what I was getting to earlier is that when you take about half of the egg Cerberus's health, the faceplate on his head gets removed, and now you can homing attack the face to confuse it a bit, but even if you do, it doesn't give you enough time to circle around the Cerberus and grab the tail. So, to me, it's really pointless. There's no point in attacking the face. No, just wait for it to get tired, circle it around it, and just do the same thing you've been doing since the beginning of the fight. You know, the boss fight really isn't that hard. You know, every once in a while it'll jump on the second floor and try and do this incredibly predictable stomping attack, and then sometimes it won't even bother jumping on the second floor and just trying to stomp you altogether. And for some reason, that time the Cerberus decided not to get tired anymore. I guess it just realized it was a machine, and it shouldn't be getting tired in the first place. But since I'm taking a little longer than I should be here, and my rings are not really that, you know, numerous to begin with, I'm not going to get a very good rank in this fight. There's actually the more health you take from the Cerberus, the more, you know, disobedient it becomes when you're grabbing the antenna. You know, sometimes you're heading towards the wall and it does a sharp 180.
I won't let you get away!
Like I was saying, sometimes it does like a sharp 180 and you have to, like, you know, steer it a little more accurately. It's not a really big deal. It really isn't.
No problem.
And, you know, since I didn't really, you know, it took a little too long there because I glitched my way up to the second floor of that arena, you know, I didn't get the S rank. Boo-hoo.
How long is this gonna go on?
About 3 more hours.
Let's split up. I'll get their attention, and you take the princess.
Okay, you be careful, Tails.
Leave it to
I
me.
apologize for that. Sometimes Sonic loses control of his facial muscles, and, you know, sometimes it looks like he's talking, but nothing's coming out of his mouth.
Hold on tight.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Channeling her inner slowpoke, I see. Okay, so welcome to the second stage of Sonic's story, Dusty Desert, and this is one of 2 stages where you're actually holding on to at least the entire stage, and because of your bond, you can emit a shield by holding down the R trigger, which allows you to walk over certain hazards, like this hazard actually. One of the main major hazards in Dusty Desert is the sand, which is quicksand, but you wouldn't know that by, well, the death animation, which I won't be showing off, but anyway, anytime there's sand in the stage, you know, hold down the R trigger, emit the shield, and you can safely walk over it. The shield can also be used to damage enemies and destroy crates and shit. Thing is, though, it doesn't make you invulnerable. You know, you can use the shield to destroy an enemy, but you can still run into it before it dies, and, well, to me, it's just not recommended. You know, the homing attack still works, so just use that if you want to kill enemies. You know, just use the shield when you need to, you know, get over, like, the sand and shit like that. To Dusty Desert's credit, though, I will give it, you know, give it some credit here. The beginning of Dusty Desert actually does have a lot of alternate pathways that you can use in order to get to this area right here, which is always one strict path, but, you know, if you play your cards right, you can actually beat this level in about 1.5 minutes. And because I was able to jump on the rainbow ring there, I'm able to skip this entire platforming section and get right to the bumper there. So, with that said, you know, we still got about like 30 seconds left of the level. Oh, I love that. Just, you know, trying to homing attack an enemy, and, you know, the missile still manages to hit me, even though I'm pretty sure I hit the enemy first before the missile came into contact with me. But who cares, you know, we're at the end of the level anyway. Again, after this light speed dash and killing these enemies, the gold ring will be right over there, so... You know, just for a little clarification, I will be, ladies and gentlemen, even though, you know, this game is terrible, it gets a lot of flack for what it did wrong and just, you know, just overall shitting on the franchise in general, I will be playing the game to the best of my ability. You know, like I said, the game already gets enough flack as it is. I will not be purposely playing bad to give the game a bad image. I mean, granted, you can go on YouTube and see that kind of shit for yourself, so I will be playing the game to the best of my ability, you know, so... Well, there's not much I can say about that.
I have no words to express how grateful I am for your help. You're hurt.
It's nothing.
No, really.
Don't say that. I'm sorry. It's all my fault.
Smile. Your smile. That's all I need. Eggman mentioned the flames of disaster. Is that why he's after you?
Yes. The name of the sun god our country honors is Solaris. It is told that Solaris's rage would destroy the world.
Then why do you honor him?
His wrath comes in the form of the flames of disaster. 10 years ago, we almost faced the full force of his fury.
So you honor him out of fear?
I was a child then, so I don't remember it very well. I lost my father then.
And not a single tear was shed that day.
And now that man is trying to cause the same disaster again. What can I do? Sonic! Sonic! Wait! I can't run that fast!
Don't worry. Just raise your head and run. Feels great, doesn't it?
Yes. I've never run so fast before.
Nothing starts until you take action. If you have time to worry, then run.
If you got a severe amount of college bills in your mailbox, well, you can run, sure, but when you get back to your house, the college bills will still be there. That's a terrible lesson. I have no...
I've been looking for you. You're the Iblis trigger. Your actions will condemn us all.
Who are you?
My name is Silver. For the future of the world, I will destroy you!
Next part, Sonic vs. DeviantArt Incarnate. So, see you then.